Start doing your inner work, folks. Start really focusing on your higher self, on your higher consciousness, on what you could do to transition from this world, on what you can do to transition into a being of higher thought, a being of higher spirituality. Because this is the quickening, and it's gonna get so freaking weird. And what you've got to be able to do through the whole process, like I've said so many times for so many years, is you've got to learn to walk the path of the warrior. You've got to face infinity without flinching. And when I say that, people still seem to have no idea what it means. People say, oh, you said face infinity without flinching, then you ran from Australia. No, I didn't run. I took a strategic move, and I couldn't have done that if I wasn't able to face infinity without flinching. People think the term face infinity without flinching means stand there in the face of an oppressor and let them kill you or fight back to the death or something. No, that's not what it means. What it means is the ability to be able to face with serenity odds and circumstances that are not included in your calculations. To face infinity without flinching, what does it mean? What is infinity? Infinity is recognition that this moment contains an infinite number of possibilities. Anything could happen. That plane that's flying over could fall out of the sky and land on me. Pretty unlikely, but it could happen. These people walking down the road here could mug me. A bird could shit on me. Power line could fall on me. I could have a heart attack. A car could come along and hit me. The world could suddenly lapse into World War III. The electricity could go off. The internet could go down. Any number of things could happen in this next moment. And when that happens, you've got to be able to go, okay, this is where we are now, and this is what needs to be done. And just take it in your stride and do what needs to be done, because it's just the next step of your life. That's what it means to face infinity without flinching. You realize that there is an infinite number of possibilities, and you can take any one of them. It's all good. And you can take any one of them. It's all good. It's all going to work for you, because you are not surprised by anything, because you can face with serenity any odds or any circumstances that were not included in your calculations, because this is a realm of infinite possibility anyway. And you are possessed of infinite consciousness, and you are possessed of an infinite number of ways to deal with any situation that comes along if you just believe in yourself. That's what this has always been about. And as soon as you can do that and walk that path of the warrior, like I said, you can put on a backpack or whatever. You can walk into the forest with a knife and a piece of string, or a knife, a rope and a knife and a rope, and you can survive. You can do what needs to be done in any situation. You have to think about it. You don't need someone else to come along and fix things for you. You just do what needs to be done, because you are in control of your own destiny. That's what facing infinity without flinching is. And we are reaching a moment of destiny here, folks. This is a time in history that is going to be talked about for thousands of years into the future. This is one of the most historical times in recorded history that we're seeing right now. And we're all involved in it. We are making history right now. And think about that. This event, this period from 2020 up to probably 2030, these 10 years are going to be the most talked about time for thousands of years. And you're involved in that. You're involved in making that history and writing that history right now. We all are. Now they'll talk about all these crimes, all these things that happened, all these people that died, all this stuff that the government did. But they'll also talk about those noble people who stayed there, those noble people who saw it all and stood the path and stood strong and walked the path and got through the other side. They're kind of discovering those people now, folks. This is a really, really significant time, folks. This is historical, what is happening. And we're all part of that. I mean, think about it. Think about what you're involved in here. What an incredible time to be alive. People failing to express their emotions, this gives you cancer, gives you ulcers, gives you problems. You end up sick because you bottle up all these emotions and refuse to express yourself. You're not being honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself. If I'm angry with someone or pissed off with someone, I'll tell them straight to their face, I'm pissed off with you. No, I've said my piece, okay, let's play chess or something. Let's do something creative. Let's do something constructive. I've got it off my chest now. I don't hate you for it, but you made me angry and I need to express that. Doesn't mean I want to hit you, I want to kill you or anything, but I need to express my emotion. Same as when you love someone, express that emotion. When's the last time you told your partner that you love her? Him, her. When's the last time you told your parents that you love them? When's the last time you called your mum and just said, I love you, mum. Thank you for bringing me into the world. It's pretty fucked up and I'm witnessing a complete nightmare, but hey, thanks for bringing me here anyway. I mean, when's the last time you did this sort of stuff? When's the last time you looked at your children and told them that you love them? When's the last time you looked at your children and said, I'm glad you can think? But yeah, I mean, when's the last time people truly connected with their emotions and weren't embarrassed to express their emotions? It's better than bottling things up. It's better than bottling things up. Just be honest with yourself. Be honest with other people. Because honestly, folks, this is an incredible time to be here. This is such a historic moment. And we're all part of it. We're all part of it. Everybody out on the front line here speaking, you're all part of it. So don't think that you're not doing anything, because you are. You know, if you don't feel that you have a voice or whatever, then support those who do. If they're saying the right thing, support them, because, you know, we are making a difference, folks. There's stuff here that you never dreamed was going to happen, folks. And we're right in the thick of it. So, you know, it's kind of preparing you for it. And wait till you see what it's going to turn into. So get ready, folks. Get ready. Stay strong. You're all so powerful and so beautiful. And like I've said so many times, if you couldn't do this and you weren't ready for this fight, you weren't ready for this battle, and you weren't prepared and couldn't face infinity without flinching, if you're someone who's awake and aware, you can do all these things. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to think properly. You came here for this, and if you couldn't get through it and face it the way it is supposed to be faced, you wouldn't have come here to begin with. You never would have volunteered for this journey, folks, because I think a lot of us who came here are actually volunteers. Unfortunately, a lot of the people are going to do it. And that's what I've said, the main event is really going to be surviving what's coming. And I think the best way to survive what's coming is to, I mean, if you're in one of those societies, like if you're in the United States or something, the only way you're going to get through it is to go grey. Just blend in and find a way through to the other side. A lot of people are just in a state of cognitive dissonance. They don't want to believe that their government is that corrupt. They don't want to believe that their whole life has been based on a lie. You know, it's too much for them to face. They just want it all to go back to normal. Just yes sir, no sir, 3 bags full sir, I'll do what I'm told. Please put things back the way they were. You know, and that's not going to happen. People want someone to hate, so they have someone to blame for the predicament that they're in, because they don't want to have to take responsibility for their own lives. I mean, ultimately, if we did the right thing in all that we did, if we stepped into our moral compass and refused to comply with anything that caused us to step outside our moral compass, we change the world in a day. This is why I finish every show that I do with In Lakesh, which means I am another yourself. We are each other. You know, if once we understand that this is like a single consciousness and we're all in this together, and all we have to do is respect each other and do what is right, and we change the world in a day. So ultimately, who's they? It's us. It's us. Why do we comply with our own slavery? Maybe the mind that's behind it, the AI that's behind it, maybe we're all part of that collective mind, or maybe we're creating that collective mind ourselves by our own inaction and our own inadequacy and our own non-belief in our own selves and our own power. Maybe that's what's creating the whole thing. You know, but you know, you can point the finger and blame them all you like, but while you're still complying with all this and you're still going along with all this, well, it's you. I figured this out when I was 4 years old, when my parents told me that we couldn't live in the forest because we didn't own the land. I'm going, own the land? Who owns the land? How can you own the land? And she said, well, the government owns the land. And I'm going, how did they get it? She's going, you'll understand when you get older. And I'm going, no. And I'm walking around the yard with my teddy bear that afternoon. I said, Teddy, it's all fucked up. These people think they can own the land. Can you ask God to please take me off this world and put me back onto the proper world where people don't think they can own the place? Because I'm living in a madhouse. I've been born into an insane asylum. I saw this when I was 4 years old. I had a terrible childhood from that point. You know, I'm looking at these people going, they're all crazy, they're all nuts. I got kicked out of all my high schools. By the time I was in halfway through my third year of high school, I'd been kicked out of 4 schools. And I just went, this is crazy, and I just became a musician and lived on the outside of society and watched the freak show from the outside, you know. And it wasn't until 9/11 happened that I even started speaking out about all this stuff that I knew, because I thought, okay, they've just killed all these people. This is the big event we've been waiting for. They're going to usher in their big slavery system now. you know, and I've been an activist ever since 9/11 happened. It's a madhouse. So when you see that, I mean, I don't know how you can blame them more than you can blame us. You know, even if it is AI, whatever it is, if it's AI, then it's in place because we're just so messed up that we need a reset every 130 or 40 years, you know, because we just don't get it together every time. You know, we value information over wisdom. You know, I've said this so often, we leave the path of wisdom. We want to know about everything. I want to know how the rocks are made of and what the stars are. What for? Well, just enjoy your life and improve yourself. What are you here for? Is it to collect all this stuff and get a bigger front door than the guy next door and have this big pile of shit that you can sit on and say, well, look at me, I win? Is that what life's about? Or is it about discovering yourself and being all that you can possibly be and finding out what it is that makes up you, you know? But we leave that path, we want to know everything, we leave the path of wisdom. You know, if we could just maybe apply wisdom to the situation and stop complying with our own slavery and stop looking for someone to blame because we can't take responsibility for our own actions, then maybe we change the world really, really quickly. You know, but that's more than a lot of people want to face. If I blame him, if I blame him and then complain to you that he's doing this, then you're going to go and fix it for me and I can just continue with my life. Thank you very much, everything's good now. Doesn't work that way, you know. And even with English, it's very hard to convey spiritual, deep understandings to people in English. You know, it's a very mechanical language. I often use the word Dharma as an example. Do you understand the word Dharma? Yeah, Dharma. It's an Indian Hindi word. You know, it's about the cycles of life and putting yourself in the right place at the right time. And you could write a whole thesis on what the word Dharma means to explain it to someone who speaks English. If you're in Hindi, you just got to say Dharma. They know exactly what you mean. But we have no words to convey that understanding, to convey deep spiritual understandings or even deep emotional understandings. That's why you see so many marriages and relationships breaking up in Western countries, because they speak English. They don't know how to convey their true emotions to each other. You know, there's no words for them. I know what I feel, but I don't know how to tell you. Why don't you understand me? Why can't you feel what I feel? You know, and then the woman's there going, well, why can't you bond with me the way I want you to? And she doesn't know how to tell him, and he doesn't know how to tell her, because the words don't exist, because they took them out of our language and they taught us all to speak English. You speak words like Hungarian, you can express every single nuance of human emotion in Hungarian. In Hungarian, they have 30 different words for snow, because there are 30 different types of snow. You know, we don't have that in English. So for those who come after, you know, they really spread English around the world and all this stuff, and now they're even changing the meaning of the words in English, like based and this and that. I mean, gay means happy. No, it doesn't, it means homosexual. How did that happen? You know, happy and gay used to be a thing that you were when you were a kid. You know, gay means you're really happy. Oh no, now it means you're homosexual. That's being really happy is being homosexual. Oh, okay. You've never figured that out. You know what I mean? This is what they've done to the language. So it's remarkable.